Hi guys, welcome to DrumDog, and in today's lesson we're talking about odd time signatures. Now, odd time can be a real Marmite thing for drummers. Some people really love it and enjoy playing it, while others it can be a real pet hate and something that they almost fear. But today, I'm going to be helping out those of you that fall into that second category there and give you a really key tip that's going to help you feel more comfortable and to even start improvising some more adventurous ideas in odd time. Now, I feel that the one key mistake that so many of us fall into when we start looking at odd time for the first time is that we're always slave to beat 1. No matter what the odd time signature is, whether it's 5/4 or 7/8 or 13/8 or 33/16, no matter what it is, because we feel uncomfortable about where the bar is starting again, we lean super hard into beat 1 to guide us through it. And while that does get us through the particular piece of music and it gets us through bar to bar, it always sounds quite clunky when we're always leaning back to that beat 1 really hard, and then the rest of it kind of just becomes filler in between beat 1s. So to combat that, today I'm going to be giving you guys a series of exercises to push us away from that beat 1 and to start finding some more interesting rhythmic ideas away from leaning on the start of each bar. Now, just as an example, we're going to be using 7/8 for this particular lesson. So that's 7 eighth notes in each bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And first things first, we're going to take a couple rhythms just to the pad that miss that beat 1 to start getting comfortable just with click, pad, with the click being the only thing spelling out that beat 1. So here's our first rhythm. Now sit with that just on the pad and click for a good while until that feels really comfortable. It is going to feel super strange at first not to be playing that beat 1, but it is important that you register beat 1 with your internal clock, with that click, that you feel the importance of it, even though you're not actually playing it. Once you've got that down, let's check out this second rhythm. Now the second rhythm does start the same, but then has a few 16th note offbeats towards the end of the bar. 1, 2, 3. Now that second rhythm is much more challenging there just because we've got a little bit more adventurous with the rhythms in the second half. Once you've got both of those exercises happening and feeling comfortable, let's put them together into a 2-beat exercise. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that we've got that 2-bar exercise down and we're feeling it comfortable with the click, not playing any of beat 1, it's time to take it to the kit. So for this, we're going to be doing a 2-bar groove and a 2-bar fill exercise. It's a nice simple bar of 7 groove where we are going to be playing beat 1, but then for our fill, we're going to be playing that exact rhythm that we've just sorted out on the pad over those 2 bars and improvising the different hits around the kit in different ways. Now, this is going to add a much more of a challenge to it. We've got that new element of what we're playing on the kit and where, and especially that we're marking beat 1 in our beat, but then not in our fill, that is going to make it more of a challenge. Take your time with this. Don't be afraid to experiment with different orchestrations to find out what works and what doesn't. already just with that exercise there, you guys should have a good idea of how we're actually taking odd time to somewhere that's a little bit more musical and not just marking those beat ones all of the time. But in the same way we can use that concept for a fill, there's no reason we can't use it for a beat as well. So here's just one example of that just to check out. So now that we've got the ability not to mark beat one in a groove and a fill under our belts and we're feeling comfortable with that, it's time to start adding a bit more improvisation into the mix. Now this exercise here is a real challenge. We're going to improvise completely freely through 7 and we're never going to play beat 1. Now this is super easy to get lost in. Because we're not marking that beat 1, we don't have that to lean on. But it's really important, as I said earlier with the fills, that we mark beat 1 in our internal clock and in our heads. Even though we're not playing it, we have to register its importance. As long as you keep marking that beat 1 in your head, even though you're not playing it, then you can't get lost, and this is a really fun exercise once you start to get a hang of how it works. Now please do take your time with this one because this isn't easy at all. It's far more deceptive than it seems. Now that is a really difficult exercise there. You'll find that you'll have a beautiful run and not mark 1 for ages, and then you really get into the zone and then accidentally mark 1 and you think, and it can be frustrating there. But with that in mind, now we've got the ability under our belt of not marking that 1 and not having to lean on it. Because remember back at the beginning, that was our goal, not to have to lean on beat 1. That doesn't mean that we should never play it. So in this final little exercise here, we're going to do a very similar thing to the last one. We're going to improvise freely, but instead of not playing beat 1 at all, we're going to avoid putting emphasis on beat 1. So it's as simple as that. There isn't much limitation there at all. So we're improvising in 7, we're allowed to play beat 1, but not to put emphasis on it. So just to clarify there, we can play it, but I'm not going to put a massive crash on it. I'm not going to play a fill 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to play it and then crash after it, or maybe have a double kick starting on 1 coming into a snare. I'm still going to play beat 1, but I'm not going to lean on it like I need to, and that's the difference there. Now, if odd time is quite new to you, that was a lot of stuff in this lesson here, so do feel free to break it down. Just stick on the pad the first day, and then, or maybe even the first week, just get comfortable with those rhythms and then take it to the kit. Remember, none of this should be a rush. Work through it at your own pace to be able to absorb this and get rid of that need to lean on beat one. As I said earlier, we've only used 7/8 just as an example here, so this lesson doesn't go on for like 4 hours, but you can apply the same kind of thing for any other time signature. Pick a time signature, write out a couple simple rhythms that don't play beat one, play them as fills, and then build it up from there. As soon as you start playing anything musical that doesn't have beat one in it, you absorb that ability to not have to lean on it. I really hope this lesson's been helpful for some of you guys out there and has helped you feel a little bit freer in odd time. If you're interested in more of our lessons, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and check out our website, DrumDog. Hope to see you soon.